Say, that's a nice smile you've got there today, Don.
Well, thanks, Herb. You see, I went to the dentist today and had my beak cleaned.
Gee, your breath doesn't have its usual yucky smell.
Well, the dentist sprayed me with a wonderful sardine juice mouthwash.
Nice touch. Well, here's something else to smile about. It's time for Beakman.
Fact: the closest star to the Earth is the Sun. I'm Beakman, and you've just broken into Beakman's World.
That.
I'm just exercising, Lester.
I know. I'm worried it might be catching.
Speaking of catching, that sounds just like this letter we got. It's from James Fox of Odessa, Texas. He says, "Dear Beakman, and the thing I hate worse is getting a shot. And sometimes I have to have shots even when I'm not sick or anything. How come?"
Ooh, if there's one thing I like, it's a pointed question. You know, James, I don't know anyone who likes shots. And I know it seems dumber than dumb to get a shot when you're not even sick. But those shots can be very important. They're called vaccinations. Now, what's the best way to explain vaccinations? Hello. Excuse me, my good people. Perhaps I could be of service here. Ooh, I say. They are growing rats terribly large here in the 20th century, aren't they?
Oh, you're no slouch in the cow-growing department either.
Yes, well, I happen to be Dr. Edward Jenner, physician, historical figure, and discoverer of the vaccination.
Well, Dr. Jenner, maybe you could explain what's with the Moby cow here.
The cow was my inspiration. Allow me to explain how I discovered the smallpox vaccine.
Smallpox? What's that?
Oh, you wouldn't have asked that question 200 years ago, my good rodent. Back then, smallpox was a horrible disease that killed thousands of people. Anyone could get it. Well, almost anyone.
Meaning?
Well, strange as it may seem, the only people who were spared were girls who milked cows. Milkmaids. These milkmaids had a disease much like smallpox, but much milder. It was called cowpox. I got the idea that somehow catching cowpox prevented one from catching smallpox. Oh, easy, Roseanne, easy. Thank you, my dear. So I did an experiment. I purposely gave an 8-year-old boy a case of cowpox. Then later, I infected him with smallpox. And lo and behold, he didn't get sick.
So, the experiment worked in a lo and behold kind of way?
Indeed. Soon everyone was given a case of cowpox. And they no longer had to fear the scourge of smallpox.
And that was vaccination?
Well, that's not what we called it at first. For years, we called it giving them cowpox, a mild disease, so they wouldn't get smallpox, a really bad disease, which could kill them or at the very least kill their weekend treatments. But by the time you said all that, they were dead from old age.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Ah, so we picked the word vaccine from the Latin word vaccinus, meaning of cows. How did cowpox keep someone from getting smallpox? Well, there's something we know that Dr. Jenner didn't know. Smallpox, like lots of diseases, is caused by a virus. An ultramicroscopic, metabolically inert, infectious agent that replicates only within the cells of living hosts.
what that old man was saying is that a virus is a very, very small thing that makes other things sick. Not just people. Viruses can make plants sick or animals, or even other germs. Think of a virus as something like this. Now, a real virus is a lot smaller, but this will give you the general idea. The virus gets into the body somehow. Then it attaches itself to a healthy cell. Oh, remember, cells are the smallest part of you. The virus kind of plugs itself onto the cell at special places called receptors. That's where they receive the virus. You know, I need a cell. Hey, Ray, may I borrow one of your cells, please? Ah, yes. That's very cellular of you, Ray. You know, if this is a cell from your body, there's a cow over there I gotta introduce you to. Now, these doodads right here are called receptors. The virus latches onto them like this. Then, the virus invades the cell, and the person gets sick. But, luckily, the body has a way of protecting itself from viruses. Your white blood cells produce something called antibodies. Antibodies are like special soldiers in the body. The antibodies and your white blood cells go to war with the viruses. When the good guys win, you get better. But some viruses can attack so quickly that you get really sick before your body can make enough antibodies to fight them off. And that's why we have... No, actually, I was thinking of vaccinations. Let's make a vaccine against our model virus. I'll take this virus out the cell. A vaccine can be made from a destroyed virus, or a weakened virus, or even a small part of a virus. Whatever it's made from, it's close enough that it tricks the body into thinking it's being invaded. The white blood cells snap into action and make lots of antibodies, kind of like these. Once the body has made these antibodies, they're on alert. As soon as an antibody spots a virus, why, there's one now. All right, antibodies, charge! There we go. Quick, surround that virus. Take that, and that, and that, and that. Antibodies have the virus surrounded. Now, it can't attach itself to the cell. See? It can't attach itself. It won't stay on. To review, a vaccine is a trick you played on your own body. You trick it into making lots of antibodies, so when the real viruses show up, they don't have a chance.
So, James Fox of Odessa, Texas, that shot your doctor gives you may hurt your arm or your whatever for a few seconds, but it keeps you from getting something that could make you sick for days. That's a bargain in the book of Beakman, all right? Now,
Coming up next, you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll move.
Beakman's World will be right back. And now, back to Beakman's World.
heads up. It's time to keel-haul your consciousness. Here he is, the matador of the mind, the deacon of dudes, the captain and Tennille of all that is real, the one, the only, the Beakman.
You beam 'em, I'll steam 'em. Let's foxtrot.
You can poke someone's eye out with that.
Question, how much food does an elephant eat?
Answer, the African elephant consumes about 800 pounds of food a day. Memo to me, never get behind an African elephant on a buffet line. Or at any other time. Next question.
Next question. Dear Beakman, do plants make noise?
Extremely thirsty plants cry for help. When they need water, they let out a high-pitched sound that humans can't hear. Question? What are you doing, Lester?
Answer, I want some water.
Fast fact, the water we drink today is at least 3 billion years old. It's been recycled over and over again through evaporation and condensation.
Question. Was Antarctica always icy and cold?
Well, there was that day last spring when the temperature rose to a balmy 65 below.
As I recall, that was still icy and cold.
Oh, yeah, definite sweater weather.
Yeah, I had a turtleneck made with a real turtle.
Gee, how much you shell out for that?
Are you mocking me?
Answer, it was not always icy and cold in Antarctica. Millions of years ago, it was a warm continent with trees and plants.
Question.
Wait. No, never mind. Oh, nothing. I just thought. There we go. I heard
Oh, boy.
the fanfare for Beakman Challenge. What would you say if I said I could turn this funnel upside down and make this ball stay in it without holding on to it?
Well, I'd say it can't be done. But, you know, I hate to throw around my scientific knowledge, but have you had this idea checked out with the Department of Gravity?
I'm not only going to turn the funnel upside down, but I'm also going to run water through this hose and through the funnel at the same time.
Any experiments performed at home should be done with adult supervision, and all appropriate safety precautions should be taken. All directions should be followed exactly, and no substitutions should be used.
So, you're gonna make this ball stay in there?
Get ready for Amazement City. Ray? Ha-ha! Bada-bing, bada-bang, bada-ball.
Wow! Well, that just goes to show you. Sometimes even science doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. Ray, send in a sense maker. When water travels through something narrow, like the little space where the ball is closest to the funnel, it speeds up and exerts less pressure. That's called Bernoulli's principle. At the same time, air pressure is pushing up on the ball. Since the pressure pushing down on the ball is less than it was without the water, the air pressure underneath is strong enough to keep the ball from falling. But if the water is turned off, Ray, please. Hey, gravity wins! The ball falls, and Amazement City is but a distant memory.
Coming up next, we give Lester a wedgie. Just kidding. But we do rub him the wrong way when we have fun with friction. So grab a pencil, and we'll see you after this, huh?
Beakman's World will be right back. Now, back to Beakman's World.
I got a question for you, Beakman.
Hey, in the pocket like a rocket.
Here's a wind-up and a pitch. Ariel Einstein of Birmingham, Michigan asks, Dear Beakman, why do my hands get hot when I rub them together? Hey! Oh, hey, watch when you're going free bag.
You see, Ariel, the thing that's going on when you rub your hands together is the same thing that's going on here.
Hey, I dare you.
Friction.
Hey, you're so
Friction is what happens when two things rub together.
Yeah, you rubbed me the wrong way, Joseph.
Hey, remind me to do it someday with a power sander. Here.
Hey, would you two frictional characters please chill out?
Chill out. He said the secret word. Give the man $50.
Oh, that's a different show, Don.
Oh, boy, this is a very confusing time in my life, Herb.
Hey, every time is confusing to you, Don.
I know. What am I going to do about it?
Anytime you've got things rubbing together, bada bing, you've got friction. It's a force that resists motion. Friction tries to slow things down. Oh,
What a drag.
why, that's correct, Josie. Drag is another word for it. Let's look at the ups and the downs of friction. Without friction, you could roll this bowling ball and it would just keep going and going and going.
You crazy scientist! You broke my mama's best dishes!
Until something or someone gets in its way.
So, in other words, words, friction is what makes stuff slow down because it's rubbing against the ground.
Yes, but it doesn't have to be the ground. Without friction, you could actually throw a frisbee, and it would just keep going and going and going until your friend or your dog caught it, or until our old pal gravity finally got it to the ground.
When you throw a frisbee in the air, what does it rub against?
It rubs against molecules in the air. It's just one collision after another. Feast your red rat eyes on the bogoscope. When you throw a frisbee, you're transferring energy from your body to the magical flying disc. What happens next is a fight to the finish with those pesky molecules in the air.
Hey, easy, buddy. What's your hurry, pal?
Hey, where's the fire?
The frisbee runs out of forward energy because of its battle with friction. It slows down, and gravity wins out, and it hits the ground. Friction opposes motion. It also wears things out. Like the soles of your sneakers wear out from the friction caused by rubbing against the sidewalk. Friction causes the parts of machines to wear out, and that's a big problem.
Well, is there anything that helps machines fight the effects of friction?
Ooh, an excellent question, Lester.
I read the script.
An excellent reading. Lubricants, Lester. Lubricants. Oh, I can't say enough about them. Specifically, oil and grease. They make things more slippery. They're used to lubricate the parts of machines to make them move more easily.
And if you don't lubricate a machine?
Oh, well, without lubricants, the parts will rub together. There'll be noise. There'll be heat. In fact, there'll be so much heat, the machine parts will melt together. Ooh, hot.
And then a big repair bill.
That's right, Josie.
Okay, so friction wears stuff out, slows stuff down, and heats stuff up. Now, it seems to yours truly that friction is a destructive fact of life.
Yes. And delightfully, no. Once again, Lester, you've stumbled upon nature's balancing act. In fact, without friction, you couldn't walk. Your feet would slip and slide all over the place. Hey, you ever try walking on ice? Oh, that stuff is slippery. If something's slippery, that means there's a lot less friction. Without friction, you couldn't brush your teeth. The whole idea is that the brush rubs against your teeth to clean them. Besides, without friction, you couldn't even hold onto your toothbrush. It would slip right out of your hand. To sum up, without friction, you can't do squat. Do you know what this is? It's a phonograph record.
What?
Your folks used to listen to music on these things back when dinosaurs ruled the earth. Doesn't go very far when I push it, does it? Friction. Now, I could put some oil on the table, but that's really messy. Tell you what, let's make a hovercraft and fight the friction with a cushion of air.
You'll need an old phonograph record that nobody watches anymore. A spool from a spool of thread, some glue, and a balloon.
Here's what you do. Glue your spool to the record, making sure to line up the hole in the spool with the hole in the record. Now, you blow up a balloon. I pinch the neck of the balloon to keep the air in and stretch the balloon over the spool like so, making sure to center it over the hole. There, that's got it. And as I let go, hello, through the exaggerated properties of the bogoscope, let's see how this works. Air from the balloon rushes out from under the record, creating a cushion of air that lifts it off the table, undeterred by its fearsome faux friction.
That is a cool toy.
So, Ariel Einstein, when you rub your hands together, you get friction.
Beakman fans, where's the best place to hit a golf ball for distance? The answer will leave you breathless. Don't go away.
Beakman's World will be right back. And now, back to Beakman's World.
Where's the best place to hit a golf ball for distance? The best place we've tried so far is the moon. See, there's no air there, so there's practically no friction. And we already know there's less gravity. So the next time you want to knock out a bucket of balls, think about doing it on the moon.
Speaking of next time, that's when I'll see you.
Same here, right here.
On Beakman's World.
Say, Herb, this ice is pretty slippery.
Must be a lubricant.
Maybe that's why there's no friction between you and me.
Good theory, Don. Apply some friction to the remote and let's go for a slip.
Beakman!